Alright, we are officially live. Hello everyone, welcome back. Playing Factorio today. I'm going to click resume and we can get right into it. So, we are currently missing a whole bunch of productivity modules. That's unsurprising. And, let's see, the other thing which was happening was we were 91% done with Rocket Silo. So remaining time estimate is 40 minutes. So that will be done pretty quickly, I would guess. And let's see here. What should we be doing in the meantime? Probably more messing around with the circuits. So we need to just expand production across the board pretty much. So let's go down here because we had like a backup system for a bunch of things. Okay, speaking of stuff that isn't working, which isn't what we were speaking of, but that is what we are speaking of now, crude oil. Why are you not showing up? So we have two waiting at outputs, one waiting at a different input, and one waiting at there. So you are just stuck. And then you are filling up ever so slowly. And we can't do much to improve that. And then this one is also slowly filling up. So yeah, the problem is we need more crude oil. Among many other things we need more of. Starting to think that building on this scale was maybe not the wisest of ideas. There's just so much stuff that constantly needs to be done. But I guess we just have to keep on going. So in the meantime, there's also going to be... Oh, we're making radars. That's cool. And okay, they need better inserters because those are apparently not fast enough. And also, right, there's some weird stuff going on here. So we need to, like, copy-paste that and how do you just place it along like that, and then do the same thing on this side. So we copy-paste that, and we just paste it along there so that they can all output. Alright, so that is functional now, and we're now making a whole bunch of radars. Now you might be wondering, what am I going to do with all these radars? And when I was designing this, the answer was going to be make artillery shells, but it turns out I don't really need all that many artillery shells. So I guess we're just going to fill up some boxes with them, and it's just using some stuff that I make in massive quantities anyways, so it'll just fill up and be done eventually. Then, speaking of things that we make in massive quantities, here we have green circuit production. And they are not getting iron plates. So, the iron plate production is... The one over here is doing about as well as it can be expected to. I mean, we're making 2 full blue belts, almost. Not quite, but close, you know, which is good enough. But then there's another iron plate production. I thought we had made something like that down in this area. Yes, up here. And is it still not getting any iron ore, or did it start working? Also, why is this not connected? This happens sometimes, and I don't know why. Alright, so you are not getting any iron ore. And you would think with adding the additional ore patch on that would be solved by now. But apparently... Okay, apparently there's no train going down here. And there is a train coming, but it's far away. So, do we need one more iron ore train? I think we might need one more iron ore train. Maybe. I don't know if this will even help. But there you go. Get an extra train. You get to be in the iron ore group. And off you go. Probably not going to be doing anything interesting, but that's fine. Alright, so now we do have a train coming down here and getting all filled up with iron ore. And it should fill up pretty quick and then come up. Alright, so that's happening. I don't know if it's happening fast enough, but it is a thing that's happening. And still no trains coming this way. Still no trains coming this way. I think we might need to redesign our train network, like, significantly in order to make things better. Because instead of, like, stopping at any random stop, it would be cool if they could stop at, like, specific ones that are designated for where they're meant to be going to. But maybe that's just too complicated. Alright, so then we also don't have copper plates production for these wires. So, where is our copper plate production? It's just this. Okay, so we have plenty of ore. I mean, we have spare ore going around as well. So let's... Do we have a... No, we don't have a blueprint for the copper plates, unless it's one of these. Copper wire. Oh, we do. We have that. Alright, so let's get in a train square V2. And pop that in. And then we should put these in here so that they're not taking up inventory space. And then we take this, and it has to line up like this. And then that all goes in. And apparently just needs to be connected across a little bit, like that. So now the whole thing is powered up. It's always fun seeing these massive just lines of drones coming in, like waves or whatever. Alright. So this is all getting built and is going to use even greater numbers of productivity modules, which I should check on them. Are you going through... Yeah, you're producing. It's just that we need a very silly amount of them. Yes, we just need a huge amount of productivity modules, and it's just going to be taking a while. Alright, but we're also missing the electric furnaces, which should be automatically crafted. So let's scroll down to here. And where are you? You're here. And you're missing steel beams. Alright, steel beams. Oh god. Right. This. Can we simply... Are we already doing that? No, it looks like this is just going along naturally. So what we need is a requester chest that then loads, and it's going to request a very large number of steel beams. And it says that there are none in the network. I think that might just be because this isn't set up properly. So let's power it up. Alright, yeah, logistic storage, 0 steel beams. So we do have steel beam production up here. Where is it? It's up here. Oh, I see. You're one of the victims of not getting any iron plates. Okay, so that just makes that situation more dire. There is a train coming up here with iron. So hopefully that will help. But if it doesn't, then there's not much that can be easily done. Also, we have a traffic jam here. This needs to be set to 1. So then we need to hop into you, set you to manual, back up a bit, and set you to automatic. Alright. Oh, don't walk directly into the train that you just hopped out of. That would be bad. Alright, do I need to put train limits on all of these? Let's make sure that those are all in. That one is. And it is actually getting copper ore. So that's good. That means that that can start producing. And as far as the iron plates, Still nothing over here. And the train which was on the way here is no longer. Always a good sign. Alright, more of these need to be that. I don't know why that's happened. Like, it shouldn't be that way. I swear I fixed it in the blueprints. But at least we have more copper plate production going. The iron plate is the important one. So where are you all going? We have a bunch waiting at various outputs. And then we have a bunch that are just like desperately keeping this thing filled. Alright. So that is going along. And this is probably just going to empty and immediately leave. And then another train is going to show up. Renegade, hello. We are trying to fix our iron ore production. Or iron plate production, rather. And the problem is, I think we don't have enough iron ore. It all seems to be going over to the other spot. You are empty. Alright, you are unbalanced for some reason. Why did that happen? Alright, so this center one is fully saturated. How has that happened? Okay, I think we just need to do that. And that will solve it once a drone gets out there and does that. So then this will run faster. Normally I have drone ports in this area, right? Right. And apparently we have spider nests not too far off either. So now that we have all this artillery, let's just pop one in there. And we're going to need to craft up a couple of those. And do we actually have any already? No, we do not. Alright, that's fine. So that is crafting along. This train stop did get fixed. So now that's going even faster. But the train should be leaving any minute now. And then I want to see how... If this fills up. Like, if this is fully saturated, then we're going to need more trains here in order to carry it all. And really what I think we need is we need the ability for some of these to have buffers. Oh, wall getting attacked. Not a problem though. Alright, so this one has filled. This one isn't even especially close to filling. But it is now getting the full output of the entire mining operation. So it's probably going to happen soon. Now let's put those in there so that that can get fulfilled. We're still missing a whole bunch of stuff, but oh, this did get iron ore. Very cool. Now, is that at the expense of the other one, or is the other one also good? The other one is also good. Alright, that's huge. Because now we have two of these things outputting. And hopefully that will solve our plate shortage. Although I don't know if we can actually keep that up for a while. Also, this has stopped. Science production has stopped entirely. Why is that? We were so close. Alright, so the science we are missing is... I can't even remember what all the types are. But probably this one, since it's empty. Purple science, yes. Oh, the electric furnaces, which we were trying to fix for unrelated reasons. That makes sense. Alright, so we just need to get the steel up and running for that, which is involved with all these iron plates. And hopefully now that we're filling up more trains at a time, because now that is running. Is this one still running? Yes, but boy, they empty fast. It takes a whole ton of iron to get anything done around here. And it looks like this one is completely run out. And now we are sending the deliveries the other way again. Alright, there are only 3 trains waiting at outputs. Alright, I think what I should do is, I've had this problem a couple times, is set that down to 10. So that should hopefully make them more reactive to moving once there is available space. Because they'll check every 10 seconds instead of every 30 seconds, which should hopefully help. Alright, this one is going, and it's outputting about as fast as it can. 2 more of those to pop into that box. And I think we might have made like 1 or 2 electric furnaces since last time I checked. We lost a laser turret. That's probably fine. This is still not producing. Now I could just turn some of these into provider chests, and that'll like temporarily provide a small source of steel, but we're going to need a lot more than that. So we can do that as a quick fix. So now we should be making steel again. But we need to actually get iron plates over there. So this side is running. And this side is not. And it's hard to say. Let's actually just check the map more generally. So we have this iron ore patch has got a train filling there. This iron ore patch has a train filling. This iron ore patch has a train filling. And this iron ore patch has a train filling. So we are theoretically using just about all of our iron ore input at this point. So, I guess what we need to do is make these guys faster. Because this can handle a decent amount more speed, probably. So, we need to do a couple steps to get that. First, we need to speed up how fast this can do loading. So we have to go like this. And across like that. Then we need to close the map, and now we're on the other side of the planet. Then we need... That's nothing important, right? Alright, cool. Then we need to get all of these in. And just for consistency's sake, we're going to have it before each. And that will let it buffer fast enough. And then these go in like that. Then the power lines come back to get all those set up. And it's going to take a while to craft all of that, because we need to bring boxes down here. But then once all that is in, we can go here and... Actually, what module... Do we even have Mark III speed modules? We don't, right? No, we have Mark IIs. Should still be a dramatic improvement. So let's go down here. And congratulations. You all get 1 billion speed modules. So hopefully that will just make this go fast enough. And there we go. Okay, now why is this always so uneven? Like, the back two aren't being used as much. Is that a problem with these? No, these are all good. Alright, so that's running. And then we scroll over a bit. This is not. So that's how it's been basically this whole time. And yeah, so the problem is I think we just need even more iron ore inputs in order for this to run. Now, is the steel working? No, the steel has just emptied out those boxes and then stopped working again. Okay, that's unsurprising. Is this still working? No, it is not. Low power. Low power, you say? How has that happened? We just use a ton of power on assembly machines. Alright. I guess then it is time. It is time to make a new nuclear setup. And in order to do that, first we're going to need a square for it, and then we're going to need... It probably actually won't be in a square because it's kind of big. Although we do need it to be connected to the system in order to get uranium and water. Those are the two things that it needs. Alright, so currently though, our nuclear setup is sort of an all-in-one thing, where we have uranium input, which seems to be broken, by the way. Is that the cause of the problem? No, we have plenty of fuel. So currently, we have uranium input. We produce the two types of uranium, and we make the fuel cells, and then we ship it into the reactors, and then ship the heat from the reactors into the turbines and everything, all in one square. I think that it'll be more efficient to just make these and then send them off, like, potentially just here, and then make a much larger, more spacious nuclear reactor elsewhere. So, let's see here. If we just assume that we're going to have access to those. Okay, the electricity situation is still pretty bad. So we need to preferably make this fix pretty quickly. And unfortunately, it's going to involve more squares. Alright, so this square lines up like that. And we put it in. And what is that rail? What do you think you're doing? There are a couple of these. Yeah. Did I mess that up? No, I didn't. It's just because this is connecting to some of the old V1 systems. So it's not quite the same thing, I guess. So we need to connect all that across. Do that up. Apparently, the biters are actively attacking this area, which I did not expect. Okay, I just stepped in a puddle of acid and took like 1 billion damage and almost died for it. That was surprising. Alright, so let's get all this connected up. Alright, I think that's all that we need for that. And now we just have to watch this get built. And we need to get rid of that biter nest up there. So let's... We already have some laser turrets here. So let's just drag some of those and then put some walls behind them. Alright, electricity is currently stable, which is absolutely crucial for our self-defense. So then we put an artillery turret here and hope that it gets built. And hope that we have shells for this. Yeah, we have 44 in storage, so that shouldn't be a concern. And this should help clear out this area. Although actually, I just remembered that the attacks when you fight nests this way are crazy big. So we're definitely going to need a wall, possibly a too thick wall. And I think we might also want a bit of a corner. Like that. That should be fine. Alright, so eventually... Alright, so there's the gun. Now we just have to wait for the ammo, and then we can have this square be cleared. And now... Yeah, there goes some ammo now. So that should get rid of that nest. And let's just zoom in to see. Yep. Here they come. Ah, they're coming around the corner. Okay. That is a bit of a nuisance. So the wall and laser turrets. There we go. So now we should be more secure from that angle. We did ultimately deal with them and get through most of the nests, looks like. So that should be fine. We're going to get some additional shells shipped here in a minute. There's another 8 on their way, and then that should deal with that. So now we can go back here, and this is going to be a just nuclear power plant area itself. So we need... Did we ever automatically craft reactors? Alright, let's get a requester chest down. I don't want to do this all out of my inventory, so you are going to request reactors, and I want... I think I want 16 of them. And we have none in logistics storage. Unsurprising. So we're going to need to... Then we're gonna need to get autocrafters in. So reactors are made from copper plates, steel plates, advanced circuits, and concrete. So we get all these in, and okay, we have to add a section. Then this can be copper plates and like as many as you can manage. This will be steel plates, which is going to be an issue. Oh, apparently not. We do have some. And what were the other things? Advanced circuits and concrete. Advanced circuits. And where are you? Concrete. Alright, so some of that is going to be easier than others. And copper plates and steel plates go into that. We also are going to want pipes and gear wheels for these. Oh, I just crafted another one instead of placing one. I always do that. So you get to ask for pipes, and you get to ask for gear wheels. Alright, so now this stuff is going to start to show up, and it's going to be very much slowed down by the fact that we don't even have like reliable supplies of half of these things. So let's go investigate the red circuits. Red circuits are here. And yeah, so there's no time for any logistic storage because they all go into the train. Alright. What do we even do about that? I think we just need to grab them off before they go into the train and leave them. So you get... Let's see, where are all the things? We can get one there, one there, one there, and one there. And like that. So that should provide a good steady supply of them. And let's make these fast inserters just so that they don't miss as many. Because the red circuits are more important for this than they are for doing whatever this is. Okay, but then we don't want this to be too many. We only want a couple each. Oh, we've unlocked rocket silos. That's exciting. So with rocket silos unlocked, it's going to take a whole bunch of processing units and a whole bunch of concrete, but nothing crazy. And then the rocket parts are also not too crazy. And then some other weird stuff. Alright, we're not going to worry about that for now. Instead, we are going to unlock something, probably. Just laser shooting speed, I guess. Can't hurt. Alright, so we got all those properly limited. So now we should have a supply of red circuits in the dimensional, or not dimensional depot, I'm thinking in satisfactory terms, in the drone system. And we also apparently do have steel showing up. So when did that... Oh, this has gotten a supply of several thousand iron plates and is now going along making steel. You'll love to see it. So that should hopefully at least just keep the lights on. And then we need to get just a couple of assemblers. So first we have to put all of these on belts. And I think we want to go this way. So first we get an assembling machine, which is making nuclear reactors. So it needs 4 inputs, which is a lot of inputs. And also, that's not how you do belts. You have to give them some space. Alright, so that is 3. And then this... Okay, we can actually get rid of those, because they can go a different way. Then this comes down like that, and goes in there. And now we power all of those up. And we get our reactor production, which we're just going to output into a box. How much do reactors stack to? Stack size of 10. So I think we technically need 2 stacks if we want 16. So that's going to be going along. And then we need that. And this is a lot, so we're going to need these to be bulk inserters in order to have even like the slightest hope of keeping up. So there we go. Hopefully that will get all that running eventually. And then we need copper plates and steel plates to go up here to make heat pipes. So those can go up like that, and then an assembly machine can take both of those and make heat pipes and get powered up. And then those can go to, let's make those go to a passive provider chest. And we can have just a couple stacks of them. So there we go. And then we need the heat exchangers and steam turbines, which is copper plates, steel plates, and pipes. So we get an assembly machine there. Actually, what does this need? That needs copper plates as well. Okay, so this we should be able to get like in here. And it takes both of those and that, and all gets powered up to make heat exchangers, which it can then output into a passive provider chest, which also needs a power line because of course it does. And then the steam turbines need copper plates, gear wheels, and pipes. Alright, so how are we gonna get that in? I think this... So the gear wheels can go out that way. The pipes are gonna have to go down this way, which means we are gonna have to take that out and just replace it there. So then we have this in, and then the copper plates come up and around and then down and in. And you make steam turbines. Alright, so this is going to craft us up the resources to make a nuclear power plant. And in the meantime, that's going to have to cook for a bit. It's going to take a while. I did notice a potential problem down here with lack of uranium, so we're going to need to figure out what was going on there. Alright, so we do have a train on the way. And it's the only train with this stop. So here you are, but you're empty. Okay. Back down to the uranium deposit. And missing required fluid. The sulfuric acid is broken. But we have 45,000 sulfuric acid in this fluid wagon, which should be pumped into this. Alright, why are you not working? So So all these other pipes, which are completely identical in every single way, are successfully filling up the system. But this one is not for some reason. What is wrong with you? I don't want to have to dismantle it because this is like a billion miles away from everything and it's going to take forever. Yeah, it says waiting at stop. So I think we are just going to have to dismantle it and rebuild it. Hopefully a drone can get on that job nice and quick. Is it because this is curved a little bit, maybe, that it's not, like, registering properly? Alright. So that's not good. We're losing a whole bunch of drones now. Where? Out in this area again. I could have sworn, how are you still being attacked when you have like perfectly good artillery coverage here? Okay, so this whole thing isn't currently connected, which is worrying. I mean, we have a turret with ammo, but it is still being attacked. I don't even know where it's being attacked from. Can we just put down a radar there so we can see what's going on? And then go back to the uranium situation to see what's happening there. Alright, so this pump hasn't been built yet. But theoretically should be any second. Alright, is that this drone here? Yes. So we have the drone coming in to put the pump on. And it's just going to stop for a recharge first. And the pump goes in. Alright, I don't know what's happening here. But I think we just do that and just say, I guess, the last cargo train doesn't count. Because we do need a steady supply of uranium. I mean, maybe we don't need it. We have a lot here. Also, this isn't even a Mark III assembly machine. And can you be productivity module? You can. Alright, so that's cool. That should provide all of those that we need forever. Unless we're gonna have to redo the math on how much of this we need, but hopefully, I mean, 0.7 a second almost should be a lot compared to how much this is seeming to use. Alright, and then we can go up here, and we have 2 of those, 11 of those, 0 of those, and then this I never gave an output. So you can output to there. And it all seems to be working. And let's just put a power line in there just so that we aren't waiting even longer if it isn't working. So it looks like steel is the limiting factor for this. But copper is the limiting factor for this, which is a bit weird. And also, this really hasn't gotten anything, because it's just... I guess it's just late to the party on all the belts that it needs. So the pipes and gears are going fine. Concrete is doing fine. Yeah, so this is just going to be chipping away at it, and we'll get there eventually. As long as this continues running, which it isn't. How much is in here? Basically nothing. Alright. Well, that's annoying. So the iron plate system has slowed down again. Oh, the iron plate system seems to have just entirely stopped. Not normally the case that both of them are waiting around. But it looks like maybe both of them are just about to be hit. Yeah, so they're both about to get deliveries, which is why temporarily both of them are empty, because we don't actually have the throughput to manage all of that. Alright, and now can we go down and check that the uranium mine has probably started back up soon? Okay, so we have a problem, and it's sulfuric acid production now. We have plenty of sulfur, so it's just being slow. However, we need, because this is going to cause problems otherwise, we need to set that to a train limit of 1. And hope that this doesn't break things in the meantime. Alright. Power situation is still very dicey, but we are managing. It looks like it's when the furnaces are all on simultaneously, it's very scary. Alright, so that's going along. And we're stuck. We're stuck with all the pipes getting in our way. Okay, this number is going down a lot. It looks like the electric furnaces are being crafted, finally. Alright, so red circuits are doing good. And these are all Mark III productivity modules, so that's fine. Alright, so yeah, it's just basically waiting on steel plates for this. We're up to 3. Copper plates aren't doing great either, I guess. So steel plate production is on and off, but it is happening. So that's a significant improvement. Sulfuric acid production is going, and that will also prevent that from causing a deadlock, which is nice. And see, over here we have radars. Hopefully this will be done soon. We have... Yeah, we don't need 3 full boxes of these, probably. I don't even know what we're going to do with the 2 full boxes that we have. So we're just going to tell those to be closed. And then that will stop draining iron plates and green circuits. This is producing iron plates again. Let's see, these are now, what are they short on? They're still short on these, which are having trouble because of power. Yeah, we need a lot more power. So we need this to get going, like, fast. And unfortunately, there isn't much we can do to speed it up. We are just waiting for steel plates to show up. At least we got all of those electric furnaces in, which means the copper plates should be cleared. So this is going along. And, oh yeah, let's get those in for you guys. You're probably going to need it. There we go. So now these can at least be producing as well. This is sort of a silly little grid we have here. We haven't gotten any of these yet somehow. Although it is running. Oh, it's taking them somewhere? Oh, I have these in my... Yeah, so I have these in that, so it's going to be... Alright, we have hundreds of these in logistic storage, apparently. How many of them do I even need? Probably not that many. We are going to turn you off, I guess. And is that the same for these turbines? We have 167 of them, but I think we need more of them. It's like 2 to 1. Yeah, it's one of those is 2 turbines, so we are going to need a lot of those, so we're just going to let that keep running. And then the heat pipes we don't have in our personal logistics requests. And there probably are more of them. We should be able to check with this, right? No, these are all we've got. So we're just going to have to keep those running then. And this is a bit time consuming. Alright, so it does look like, though, that now concrete is running short here, which isn't surprising at all. How much is that? We have another 400 in logistic storage, which is not going to last us very long. We're only up to 4 of these, and we need a total of 16. Alright, so how do we... Where do we go from here is the question that I need to ask. Like, these are just producing, and we just have to wait for them. So I guess we're back to fiddling with raw resources. Alright, so this is making stone bricks, right? How do you make concrete? It's iron ore, stone bricks, and water. Okay, I think we just leave that, honestly. It's going to be annoying to fix. And instead, I think what I want to do is add more iron ore mining. Because that is still, like, the fundamental limitation, is we cannot get enough iron ore into these. So, where is another iron ore patch? got copper there, copper there. And there's apparently absolutely nothing of value over that side. There's a whole lot of copper and stone and really everything you could want except for iron. There's a little iron patch in here. Yeah, we can stop by there and pick that up. Should be nice and quick. It's not the biggest ore patch, but what we're having a problem with at the moment is not total number of ore, but like just throughput. So every patch counts. Alright, so that's that. Braking force, I guess, will make the trains go faster, which is nice. Although I don't know how useful that's even going to be because of how I've designed things. They're relatively cramped spaces. So we're just going to head down. It looks like the copper is also in need of an upgrade. So we'll get to that soon-ish as well. And it does look like there might be a biter nest or something out here. So let's bring power cables with us, just in case. If it is a biter's nest, it's a hilariously small one. And no, it doesn't exist. It must have been wiped out before we... Must have been wiped out by the artillery, but somehow not caught on cams. Alright, so we need a whole bunch of electric mining drills, as usual. So let's just get those crafting in advance. And then... Alright, this is actually a bit awkwardly positioned. I think we're going to have to do this manually because it's a weird shape. So we want to make sure to cover the whole thing. And actually, maybe we don't go for efficiency in the numbers of miners we use, because ultimately miners aren't really like a significant cost. Now, it would be helpful if we had them automated, but okay, we do need to leave space though. We need to leave space for power poles. So we take those out, and we put them back in with a bit more space like that. And then like that. Alright. These two are too close together. So you need to go back there and use a tiny bit of landfill to get the corner in. And I guess that. Alright, so now we just have to connect this up to the power grid and get these coupled back here. And that is iron ore. Now where is this? Is this close to... No, that's pretty far. Alright, we're going to have to run a train line out here. And it's going to go like that. And we get a loader. Where's the normal speed? Alright, that is too close actually. We need more space for the loader. So we take it out again. And let's see. Now we need to put this in first because it snaps to a different grid, so if we put the loader in first, it might not be possible to line it up right. So that goes out there. Then we grab this. And we place it in like that. And there we go. Okay, now we need drone coverage. And this needs to connect back, which I guess we can just do like this. And then a little bit more over this. Really, we're just barely too far away to connect in. Alright, so then we have to do that. And this is now in drone range. And now we just have to connect these belts up to these, which we're just going to do that. And gosh, it's a bit dark. So then this comes around here, connects down there. Meanwhile, this comes up, that connects in, and then the whole thing connects in. So that is going to fill up. And we speed module all of these, at least all that we can. And that should be good. We just need to connect this up to something else. So, we just have to connect the trains up to the proper grid. And that's going to be back here. We finished braking force. Let's get even more braking force. Oh, and here come all the drones resupplying us. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Alright, let's run up this way. So what we need is to take this line out like that. And just keep it going. And actually, which way does this go? So this line goes that way, which means that since we have this as where the reloader is, this is the one that needs to hook up to that. So you come around, go up, and then go into there. Alright. Now, we need to bring the other side, which is the input. So you come over this way, get all these train tracks built, and then you connect down there. Alright, and then this needs to not be a thing that exists, because that's just gonna cause confusion. And then we're gonna put some signals on, and some more signals there. And then get more mining drills crafted up, so we can do that. And I really ought to put train stops into my personal inventory. So now we have to do this the weird way. apparently this isn't even correct, so that has to go out. And it has to go a little bit further down. Now we can put this in like that. And connect that in to there. And then just get that little extra bit. Those guys are going to be waiting. Alright, it's taking a while, but it should be good to go. If we can just get this train stop in, then we can configure it, and we'll be all set. Still waiting on production of... what's it called? Still waiting on production of productivity modules, but that's just going to take like a month and a half. Like, we're nowhere near that. Alright, so then we can get a whole bunch of extra of these in and power them up. And then this got put in. So you are... Can we get rid of these stupid trees? Oh, and of course the thing that I dismantled was in fact the train stop. So let's grab that, put it back in, and you are iron ore output. Ooh, losing more drones, as always. So we have a train on the way here. I don't know if we have enough trains, so let's put in an additional one and assign you to the group. There you go. And that does have the train limit already set, so that's fine. Alright, and then we have another train, which is going to come down here to properly fill up. Alright, this doesn't look like it is saturated the belt, so we're just going to leave it as is. And we just return back to the factory. So let's get back up to the uranium side of things and see how that's going. And hopefully the iron ore will just like quietly help things work better in the background. Eventually things should start to saturate. Like, it should happen at some point in the distant future. So we have no green circuits for these. Although apparently that's relatively recent since these are doing their last bit of outputting. The electricity situation is now much worse than ever before. Probably because of all those extra miners didn't help. Alright. So let's run up and hope that our nuclear power plant construction has been going well in the meantime. Because we really need to get that running. Alright, so this, we have 7 of these, 92 of those, 22 more of those, Alright, I don't think it's practical to wait. So let's take those, and we're going to try to leave space for the extra ones. Alright, so we get 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is sort of the outline of what we're going for. So, okay, we need to go down to this and hope that we have a spare train station. Technically yes, but for practical purposes, no. Alright, do we actually need to do train station for this? I mean, it's going to be so slow that drones should be able to handle it easily. Yeah, let's go with that. So you get a passive provider chest with a bulk inserter. And you only need to store like 2. And then you get to all fill up. And now this is going to be producing a lot faster temporarily. Alright, so this should be producing one every couple of seconds. But, oh, this is not fast enough inserter, apparently. So there. Now it's just struggling because of low power, which is fine. And, okay, that's probably the mine that I just set up, since it has absolutely 0 defenses because I didn't think there were biters in the area. But there obviously are biters in the area. So someone go in and put some laser turrets in there. It's too far for me to handle with... Yeah, so that's just all gonna go away until these laser turrets can get built. And the very optimistic drones are coming in to rebuild all of those things. Alright, and now these biters are leaving. Where are they going? They're coming over this way. I mean, they're not gonna find any vulnerable targets over this way. So I guess that's fine. Alright, so instead of this panicked setup, we just need to give proper defenses. So you get a wall with a couple of these guys and a couple of those guys. And then we'd better wall off the south as well. And get all of that in. And so now, theoretically, they could come from this direction, which would be kind of rude of them. Alright, so now we just need to craft up more mining drills and put them in a passive provider chest. There you go. Now you should have access to those. Alright, back up to this. So this is still producing as fast as it can on low power. And we do get another one. So this... I guess the neighbor bonus won't happen until they're actually powered up. And also I just realized I don't know how to actually feed fuel into these, like into the interior of it. Does it have to be like hollow? No, it definitely shouldn't be hollow. That would be inefficient. Maybe it just propagates across automatically. So let's get that in. Pop down a requester chest. And you are going to request right here, uranium fuel cells. And you're going to want to have 50 at a time, let's say. Alright, so if then we just have to get that all powered up. Alright, so that should be functional once some drones come over here. Alright, there you go. So you are in now. Yeah, how do we feed more than 4 at a time? That's going to be an important question. Alright, so it doesn't just automatically propagate across. Maybe there's something in the tips about it. Don't need that. Is there a tip? Nuclear power plants. No, there is not. Maybe there's a Factoriopedia. Where would you even be? Nuclear reactor. No extra information there. Alright, so we have all of this. We need to figure out how to feed this, though. Maybe it just has to be like a... Maybe it just has to be 2 columns. Okay, so you're getting the neighbor bonus for this one. You're diagonal and you aren't. Okay, so if diagonals don't give the neighbor bonus, then... Let's see here. So we would want them to be filled on all 4 sides in order for maximum neighbor bonus. But I don't know how to actually do that. Alright, let's check to make sure we aren't accidentally starving the old nuclear plant. Nah, we're good. Got plenty. At least we've got a decent backlog and it's producing more. So yeah, that's fine. That's not going to cause any issues. So let's see here. How do we do this? So this one would be able to receive 3 neighbor bonuses from there, there, and there. And if we did like long strips like this, then that would be the best we could do, feeding the power plants in from both sides. Now, if we were to not have it be that way, is there a way to get any of them to have 4 neighbor bonuses and like feed them from a diagonal? No, you can't do that. So are long strips just the best way of going about it then? Okay, but if we do a corner like this here, so if we let me think. I feel like there's a way of getting it for like 1 or 2, but no, I don't think so. Alright. We could... Does creating like a hollow thing and feeding them from the middle help? I don't think so. And I would assume that the neighbor bonus is like strictly adjacent, so if we take you out... Where are you? And we were to put you in like there. No neighbor bonus. Alright, so those two don't give neighbor bonuses to each other, as expected. But we do get it there. Alright, how do we... I feel like there has to be a way of getting more than 3, but maybe if they're staggered? Let's try that next. So if you are like this, then you don't get a neighbor bonus. So what if you're like this, still no neighbor bonus? Alright, so it has to be perfectly on a grid then. Which means that 2 rows is going to be optimal, I think. It feels wrong. It feels like there's some clever trick. But if we think about it, the clever trick would have to be at the ends of the rows. So these ones only get 2 neighbors. All the ones in the middle get 3. So if there might be a way of like making a too thick loop of some kind. So if we put you in there and then let's see here. No, because so then this one and this one all get 2 neighbors, but that one only gets 2 neighbors, that one only gets 1. And if we were to make this corner in, then we couldn't fill that one. So yeah, I think a strip is just the best. Alright, we've also finished braking force, which is cool. So let's do another one. These trains are gonna be braking like crazy. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Alright, so yeah, we just take this out and we just have to run these belts up like that. And then connect that in, and actually hang on. How do we... I guess we just have to split it like this. Yeah, I know the electrical pole's in the way. Please just deconstruct the electrical pole. Thank you. Alright, now that's weird. Alright, lesson learned, if you do this, it puts it in the other side. So we need you to just go back a little bit to there. And get that stupid tree out of the way. And you get to request some uranium fuel, which we are going to manually supply to start. Alright. So this is going to be our reactor design, I guess. Not exactly thrilled about it because it feels wrong, but I think it is the best option until I can figure out some clever trick to get them fed from all four sides, in which case a giant square would be better. But for now, we're gonna do it like this. And then we need to think about placements, because we do want to basically fill this entire square. So first of all, how much is this going to make? So I think we need to do some math to figure out how much heat this is going to generate. And we're probably going to need more than a full square of these guys. We're going to need so many of them. But that, I think, will be relatively easy to set up. So, do we want to just generate the heat here and then transport it somewhere else for use, so that this can stay clear and capable of being expanded if necessary? Yes, I think that makes sense. It also lets us keep this as like a dedicated production facility for the nuclear components as well. Alright, so we have all of these. And those are all in. So, we need to figure out how much they all produce. And we also need, while I'm looking at it, we need to get this in and this in for the waste disposal. So, now we have to get all of these loaded up, because I don't want to like misunderstand how much production we need and then do all of my math wrong, so I'm just going to figure out how much each one uses first and then calculate the numbers of that afterwards. So those all go in. These all come out. And there we go. And power lines. Those need to be connected across. Alright, so now this is all going. And we have 120 on the corners and 160 in the center. So that is going to be 240. So the edges are going to be 480 always. Is there like a sign thing that I can make? Lamps, display panels. Let's make a display panel and see how this works. Heat output is 480 plus 160 times internal reactors. Currently is... Alright, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 160 times 8. So 160 times 8 is 320 times 4, which is 640 times 2, which is 1,280. So it's 480 plus 1,280 equals 1760. Alright, that is a lot of heat. And then we need to figure out how much of these we need. And these are 10 each. So we're going to need 176 of these. That's quite a few. I think we do have that many, though. We have 440 of them. We don't have the steam turbines, though. We only have 100-ish worth of steam turbines. So let's go over here right by the water, I guess. And does this even need a square? And can it even use a square? So we need to do the heat pipes. But heat pipes are going to be a problem. Alright, so those, we're going to need more of them. Can I just have heat pipes in my inventory? I guess 100 of them is probably too many. But it's better to have too many than not enough. So, do heat pipes go underneath train tracks? No, they do not. Alright, so how do we manage that, considering this is surrounded by train tracks and needs to be surrounded by train tracks in order to function properly? That is going to be a bit of an issue, isn't it? That is going to be a problem. So I think probably this just... Well, we haven't used this train square at all for anything. So I guess we can simply just break that, have it not be a train square. Alright, so that can come out over here. And then, did we make a blueprint for these? I could have sworn we made a blueprint for those. But we didn't. Alright, so we need to make one, because I'm not placing 176 of these manually. Alright, so we have that, which uses 10 megawatts, produces 103 steam. Then we have these, which consume 60-some steam. So, this also uses water, but I don't think that's an issue. Each of these pumps makes 1,200. Yeah, water is never going to be a problem. Because this uses 10 water a second, and we need 176 of them, so we're just going to need 2 pumps. And hopefully the pipelines can manage that. I don't think the pipelines have a limit though. So that should be fine. And how do we want this? I don't think we want this to literally be exactly here. We're just figuring out the ratios. So this is 120 steam consumed with 103 steam produced, which is like pretty close, I guess. But if I'm making this a blueprint, I would like it to be more efficient. So 2 of these would be 206. 3 would be 309. 4 would be 412. 5 would be 515. Nah, this is just going to be much easier than doing any of that stuff. So let's get a power line on here as well. How did I actually do that down here? I fit the power lines in between the two like that. It's pretty clever. Alright, so we can just do that again. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we have that in. We have a power line there. And yeah, I guess we just make a blueprint of this, not with the heat pipe. So this is steam turbines, I guess. Not the world's most complicated blueprint, but it's fine. So then we just get a whole bunch of these in. And yeah, so we can just do that. And then we go all the way down to here, which is now going to be a problem because we're by that. So now we can stop and start going the other way. So we connect that up to water. And oh, we have to connect this whole thing up to this. So, alright, we could have actually had that be part of the blueprint, and it would have been convenient. Are we out? We shouldn't be out. We just need to get the restock. So let's stand here. And restock is happening. What are you short of? Copper. Alright, well, that's a different thing to be short of at least. It does seem to be showing up every so often. Here, I can help you out a little bit. And why did I even have that much copper? Yeah, I do not need 500 copper in my inventory. If I ever need that much, I'll just auto-craft it. Alright. We're up to 35 heat pipes. So we can expand that along. And is this working? Yes, it is. These ones are starting to heat up. And they have water. So it should... Oh, this isn't connected to anything. Over you go. There we go. So now it's all connected up and producing power. And that's a respectable spike, but we have a lot more to go. So, do we have more of these? Still in the process of crafting them. Alright, and then we're going to need to deal with the waste, which actually I think I want to bring down this way just for ease of expandability. These belts all face the other direction. Alright, so now you need to get under that and merge up with this. So now we have you. And see, if I recall, I had like a centrifuge doing this, but I'm probably going to need more. I had two. I have two of these, which take 0.08 and convert it back. Alright, so let's head up and get these connected in. We're also going to have to do the math to figure out how many of these we're producing. So you get to be a passive provider chest. That's powered up and brought down to there. And just to make sure, that shouldn't ever need to be a fast inserter, but it is now. Alright, so how much is this? It's 40 megawatts per reactor, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 reactors. So that would be 40 times 12, which is 480 megawatts, which, if we go here, this is 8 gigajoules, so that's probably a lot more than a megawatt, so we're probably fine. Alright, let's get the remaining heat pipes in like that. And this whole thing, it does take a while to warm up, but it is getting there eventually. See these little steps. Alright, so then what we want to do is, how many of these are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 of these. And yeah, we're going to need so many more of these. And I don't think we need more of these at the moment. So you can stop. So that way we get everything going into here, which apparently wants a bulk inserter. Because we're going to need a lot of heat pipes, and they're very expensive. Alright, so that is continuing to produce along. Now, we go over here, and we just grab all this, and time for some massive scale copy pasting. you all go in like that. And then we need to connect that little bit across. And we're going to have a whole lot of landfill to do, which will take some time. But fortunately, we have a lot of drones. There we go. And that's basically all in, except for the heat pipes, which we don't currently have. So we just have to wait for that, and it'll come through eventually. In the meantime, this is still warming up. It's got quite a bit to go. And I don't actually know if there's like a limit to how much an individual heat pipe can handle, and like if this is partially being wasted or not. It looks like, I mean, the numbers are all going up, but very slowly. Numbers are going up very slowly. No, we do not have the heat pipes to mess around with extra stuff like that, so we're just going to assume that this works. And, oh, not only is it not worked, now the numbers are going down. Why are the numbers going down? Oh, it's spreading out? Okay, that's a bit annoying. So I guess when I put all that extra stuff on, the heat dispersed a bit and is now going to multiple places instead of just one. But it should be recovering. I wonder if that is going to cause problems for us in terms of getting this whole thing started and going. It's definitely going to slow things down a lot. So we might be able to accelerate it by adding a second row in. Like that, but maybe not. I might have to look up how exactly heat pipes work, if there is some limit to them. Because if there's a limit to them, then that's going to be a problem, because our design is a bit cramped for that right now. So, yeah, I don't know how to tell if this is outputting fully or not. As long as the numbers are going up, it's probably fine. That's what I'm going to tell myself. So this should be starting up again soon. But it would be nice if I could grab like a heat pipe from here and just bring it over, but heat pipes don't have underground variants, which makes that very difficult. Alright, so it is starting up again. And probably all of these will be starting up in short succession. The heat pipes lose heat the longer they are. Okay, yeah, that's the sort of thing that I was worried about. Is there... Okay, so I guess that it can't be neat and organized like this, and we're just going to have to cram all of these in right next to the reactors then. Okay. The heat exchangers need to be close to the reactors. Got it. Okay. Okay, so in that case... let's just see. We also need the water over here as well, which isn't really a difficulty. Alright, so this close? I mean, we can get it, like, right here-ish with the water going underground. Although, no, we can't get it quite that close because we need the heat pipe to go in. We could just put them up here. This is an option that isn't otherwise being congested. So if we just put you there and you there, then we can make our row of heat exchangers like this, and that will be better. And then these laser turrets don't need to be here. We can get rid of those. So then that goes over there. And those all get hooked up like that. Okay, so that is much better. And then we could probably... No, it's going to be hard to fit them down here, but not impossible. So we're just going to have to make some of these belts underground belts to fit the heat pipes across. And then this can go like something like this. And then let's see, then this has to do that, which I think means this has to then loop around like that, and that can go away. And then we can cut that space as well, which means we can fit heat out of these pipes. And I really wish I had a better system for making the heat pipes, or I had just started this a lot earlier. So now we're just going to be waiting on this forever. Okay, now we need to deal with the water input. So we're going to have a pipe there, come over to here, and I guess we can just put in... It's going to be marginally more convenient to just have an offshore pump right here, if it worked, which apparently it doesn't. Maybe it needs to be flatter or something? I don't know. It'll be fine to bring these pipes around. Alright, so this comes up. And then we need these to go underground like that. And into there. Alright, somehow that ended up with a gap, so we have to shift that over slightly, and now all of you have water, except... Is that a gap? No. All of these guys have water now. And we can take this down and over there. So now all of you have water. And then hopefully we can get more of that done. Not quite. Alright, we finished braking force. Let's just put in... I don't even use most of these, but I guess we have artillery, so that should be fine. Alright, so that is that. We might be able to just connect those across as well. Alright, so now we have all these heat exchangers in. We need to get a whole bunch of pumps, and I need to move all of these. You can apparently fit in there. So we need to gather up all this steam and get rid of these power cables and move them to a less annoying spot. Alright. So, steam is now being accumulated, and we need to head over here and do that too. And this comes out and goes up. Alright. So now we have 1 billion steam, and we just need to, I guess, probably remove these. Probably, I don't know, they are currently producing some power, which we do kind of need. So, let's just figure out, we have some of those. We have plenty in our inventory still, so that should be fine. Alright, I don't know why I put that pipe there, when I'm just going to be doing this for the most part. Alright, that didn't work well at all, and now there's pipes everywhere and I can't move. Alright, so those have to all get attached up like that. And I really should have used the blueprint that I made 5 minutes ago for exactly this purpose. But we're too late now. We've got all this stuff. So those are in. And we need a second row, which goes across like that, and then shares the steam. Which, those are all working. Alright, yeah, you can tell this is much more effective. Alright, so that is now going to get these guys started up as well. Eventually, did they not get properly connected up to water? Why? Oh, right. I'm used to seeing the steam coming out of them because they're normally right next to them, but in this case they aren't. Alright, well this technically works, but is much worse than what I had before. Like in terms of just not being horrifically ugly. So I think what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to probably just tear this down and rebuild it in a less awful way. And how are we going to do that? Alright, so we need to just... How many heat exchangers did I say we needed? We needed like 176 of them. That's so many. Okay, so we need a system for just like squeezing a bunch of heat exchangers into a small space. So let's get you, I would really like to make these into like block-ish segments instead of this current system where they're just lines. Alright, so we have this, which would be the heat would be connected across. It's going to need to go there so that this can tile. So the water can come in from the top and bottom. Now if I just copy and paste you like this, then the steam can come out like that, and this should work pretty well. So let's just copy paste it a couple more times, and we're obviously going to need a lot more heat pipes for this. So that is going to be something that we are going to have to wait for. We can also come over here and just yoink this line of heat pipes, which we don't really need anymore. I think the power situation is currently fine enough that we can... I mean, it was never like an absolute catastrophe, right? Like, we're still doing plenty. So we have this, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if this is 4 by 8, it's going to be 32. Okay, a train ran out of fuel somehow. I don't know how that happened. They should all be stocked properly. So if we just add one more row to this, which I have to copy separately. So you go in there, and we probably that power line that we just cut is super important, so I'm going to rebuild it just a couple feet to the left. And then tear this back down again so that we have more heat pipes. Alright. So now we have this, which is 5 by 8, so it should be 40. So this is a batch of 40 heat exchangers, and now we just need to connect it up. So the fluid pipes are going to need to work around the heat pipes, and also this is large enough that it's not super easy to do. Alright, so we could just... We have water and steam which need to have their pipes messed with. Can we get these trees out of the way at least? I have to rebuild a power pole potentially. Also now I'm stuck. Alright, so we have this. And we just need to get some stuff in for it and get rid of those random trees. Alright, so heat pipe is going to go just across here and then into each of these. And now we've left a gap so that this can come out, and this is going to be in the way of this production. Alright, so this belt didn't need to go that high in the first place. That belt can go down there and still work. And so then we have... No, because this has to come out. like that. Oh, this is just backwards. Okay, wait, this can do that, and then connect up to this, which comes out there. But we could actually be more space efficient about this, which only matters because I chose to start building this in a dumb spot. So this can go there, and then out to there, and then the heat pipes can go along there. And so we just need to copy this across. And I think we're going to be stacking this square itself a couple of times as well. So we're going to have that there. And then these all connect up like that. Alright, I should deal with this train. Where are you? You're just like randomly there in the middle of everything. How did that happen? I could have sworn did we not attach a refueler up to the sulfuric acid? It's weird. Very weird. Alright, there you go. Fuel, have some. And then find the sulfuric acid production, which is, I think, this one. And yeah, look at that. There isn't a refueler. Alright. Now there is. Alright, back to what we were doing. Gotta just run along north. And we've got this. Alright, so we have the steam output set up, and we have the heat pipes wrapping around properly. Now we just need the water input, which we need to be a bit careful to not have them intersect any. So that goes back. This can just come along like that, and then we'll only have the heat pipes go in from like this corner basically. Alright, so that should be a good blueprint. Let's just try to grab this without anything else also in the blueprint. So grab it like that. Nudge it ever so slightly to not get all that stuff. And this is heat exchanger block. And I'm just going to say 40 heat exchangers. Create blueprint. So this is... Okay, we lost a power pole there, but that's still not really a crisis. So I did the math, we're going to need 176 of them, which is so many. Which means we're going to need 5 of these blocks. And then we're going to have to take all the steam off to various places. Alright, so let's dismantle all of this. Because it's taking up space and is very ugly. So, heat exchanger block. We are going to rotate this so that the heat is coming from there. And actually, can we just like flip you vertically maybe even? so that you're getting the heat from like the optimal spot. So you go in, and I'm gonna have to find my way out. But we lost a train car and some trains. That's not good. Alright. I really hate getting interrupted like this. Alright, so we are gonna need... Do we already have drone coverage out to there? Yes, we do. I don't know why you're even... Oh, yeah, I do. Never mind. That's completely normal. I don't know why you were just sitting there, or did they happen to get a snipe while you were passing through? Alright. So that area should now be secured. And then somebody please put... Okay, the rail did get put back in. And now we just have to put that back in and then stop by in a little bit. In order to finish it off and set it back to automatic mode. Alright, so this is still not producing fast enough, which is as expected. Alright, power is still fine. I just don't want to take all of the power production offline at once. Okay, we should be able to sneak a heat pipe across here. If we go like that and like that, then... Oh, we don't have any heat pipes, right, because we're building all of this stuff. Alright. We can dismantle all this. Ooh, we got a new iron plate achievement. That's a great sign because it means that we are actually producing... It means that our iron plate setup that we just did is actually functional. Alright, now they keep sending all the heat pipes over there, which is not like a huge problem, but it is kind of annoying. Alright, so we just need to get that water into there. So now those are all watered up. And then we just need to get some heat pipes, which are still very slow to produce. And it's because of resource efficiency and its end product, so I'm not going to be able to productivity module it to make that better. So we are just gonna have to let this cook for a little bit. But I can pull some out of there. And... Alright, that just... They all just instantly get used is the problem. I can't have any of them for myself because a drone just comes and grabs them from me. Alright. We are managing to get a couple in. And that's going to go straight through that, which... Can I just... Can I just copy the settings? No. Wait, maybe... Like that? Alright, cool. So we're almost to the point where this one is attached up. And we're also almost to the point where this one is functional and attached up. Okay, this first one has no fuel. Oh, somehow that got put in backwards. How did that even happen? There we go. That's fixed, and it should all be fueled up. Alright. So this is heating up, but it doesn't have water. Alright, so what we can do is we can connect you to that, and then these should start producing steam. Cool. Now we can take that steam and then connect this up to there. So now all of these ones don't need to exist because they're getting their heat from here, which means I can scavenge a few more heat pipes. And now we are cooking. Now we are definitely cooking. So now that is connected up as well. And yeah, so we should be able to take all of these out and just replace them with pipes, which is going to be good so that we don't have a billion heat exchangers being used. Alright, so that is attached back up. Also, this all lost power somehow, because of course it did. Why would anything ever not get randomly disconnected for no reason? Alright. So now we have that. Projectile damage has increased. Let's get portable fission reactor. That sounds fun and not like the sort of thing which could destroy the world. Let's get more underground pipes in so I can move. And we can pick up these last couple heat pipes. Every little bit counts. Alright. Another big attack down at this corner. I don't even know, like, there are no... Are they coming from there? Like, there are no nests for miles. They must be coming from that. And also, this whole area loses power like every 5 seconds. Can you just connect across there so that you have a second connection? Anytime anything happens to any of these, this entire thing loses power, which is abysmal. Alright, so this is now working. And we need to just attach these steam pipes up again. Like that. And then, can you please go underground so that I can walk around a bit? Alright. So, now what we need to do is go over here, take all of these heat exchangers out, and also some of those pipes. So now that all of those are gone, we can replace them with the steam pipe and get this whole power situation absolutely rolling. This underground section, I want it to be a little bit bigger because I am... There we go. So that is still connected up. And now, this goes up here. And underground so that I can move. And then this comes down here. And there we go. We now have probably way too much power. We have a gigawatt of power. That's pretty decent, and we've got plenty more where that came from. So, we've got 2 of these sets in. We're still pretty low on steam turbines. How many spares do we... Oh, no, we have a couple hundred still. Alright, so we need to get 2 more of these blocks in, and then we'll be using most of this, because we need 176 heat exchangers, and these are 40 each. So 4 of these is 160, and then we can just squeeze a 5th in somewhere. Alright, so we're going to want... If we shift this to the side, we can fit another one in this area, I bet. So we're going to have to do that, which is a little bit annoying, having to dismantle all this once we just got it set up, but gotta do what you gotta do. Off it goes. And it'll be much easier to construct the second time around since we have all of the resources already. So heat exchanger block. We are going to rotate it like that. And okay, we have to be careful. Is that pipe up top the water pipe? Yes, it is. So that can go to there. And nothing else is connecting up that I don't want to. So we just build all this. And there we go. Just missing some of the heat pipes. Don't know where they went. I just dismantled you 5 seconds ago. You definitely exist. Let's get weapon shooting speed, I guess. Well, that's baffling. I wonder where all those went. We have 27 unaccounted for 27 unaccounted for heat pipes, which is rude. And also, why are these guys not producing power? Oh, is it because we just don't need it? Yeah, probably because we just don't need it. That's fine, I guess. It'd be nice if I could figure out where all of the heat pipes went. On the way, 70 some. Okay. So they are being delivered, just don't know where. Speaking of which, let's get a storage chest or 2 just here. So hopefully that'll help a bit. And we are still steadily producing new heat pipes. So that's good. So then the other thing we're going to need is... Dang, this whole row is going and none of these are going. It's weird how they prioritize like that. But fine, obviously. It's not going to break anything. Alright. Yeah, power demands have also calmed down a lot since we were in the middle of that crisis. I don't know why. I guess something must have saturated. Alright, wherever they brought the heat pipes, they're getting them back to me now. Slowly but surely. Alright, so now these are gonna get crafted, and this whole thing will be functional again. Yeah, so we have a lot of steam power here. And let's just jump ahead of it and place down this. So you go in here. Are you connected up to anything? Yes, this steam pipe needs to go. Because that is going to potentially connect up to some things that I don't want it to. Alright, so then we can get this. And that goes in there. And we place it. And there we go. We're still going to be a good couple of heat pipes short. But they are getting crafted, so it'll happen eventually. And we just want to connect all that steam up. Alright, they're actually attacking here. Is the... How did that lose power? There is... Oh, somehow this whole thing got disconnected. There. Reconnected. And... this artillery turret is apparently not reaching out to there. Well, let's do that manually then. How do you do this? Cursor right click to activate. Oh, I was trying to left click. Alright. We're gonna need second shots on all of these. There we go. Gosh, we're getting crossfire from multiple artillery pieces, which I don't normally bother setting up, but it is pretty convenient. And then can we even reach up here? Yes, we can. Alright. So those have all been targeted. And yeah, the manual range is quite good. Even if the automated range isn't necessarily. Alright, I think you need a second shot. Oh no, all of our artillery is out of ammo for now. That's fine. You will be refilled. Right, yeah, we have plenty of spare. And here come the attacks. I'm just gonna stand here and help out just a tiny little bit. There we go. That's that dealt with. And now we do have a couple shots going out. I queued those up previously. Must have. Alright, someone get that. There we go. Artillery is like the coolest thing ever. I love artillery. Alright, so we now have a ridiculous amount of power, and it's all gotten disconnected from the grid somehow, or at least all of this is. Oh, that's why these weren't running, probably. Alright, someone put that in. Sometimes it takes absolutely ages. Alright, so that is in now. And power is more than enough. These got no input fluid. Okay. So yeah, the thing that I was worried about happening... Oh no, I just messed up. That pipe's supposed to be connected over to there. And I think we want all of our steam pipes to be connected across, so that it just balances correctly. Alright. We now have basically unlimited power. Alright, so we still can expand this a lot, by the way, so we can copy this whole okay, well, probably not all of it because it's going to run into some other pipes down there, but we can, like, copy all of this. Oh, wait, no, because in order for it to tile properly, we have to only copy this portion. So we copy that, and then we have to get it lined up like this, and place it in. And that's going to be a whole lot of landfill and a whole lot of turbines, but it should increase our power capacity to even more ridiculous levels. Alright, this corner, you need some help. What is over here that's attacking? Is it these guys? Are you within range? Yes. We do have artillery with range on this. And we're just gonna wipe you out. Get follow-up shots on all these guys. And can we just, like, send a snipe into that batch? That would be cool. Ah, the old anti-biter artillery. Alright, there's more down here. So let's target them. And there we go. Another nest dealt with. Gosh, once you start manually firing, they go absolutely miles. What's the range difference here? It's automatic range 224, manual range 560. That is a lot. Alright, so that should be... What's this? Okay, that's just a cluster of biters. They're just sitting there. Can we just... Can we just delete them? I think you need another one for some of their colossals. But there we go. That's that dealt with. And then let's finish up by pointing a few in there. See what... Alright, there isn't actually anything there. That's fine, we just fired a couple of rounds at nothing. And that should be secure. Power should be stable. 1.2 gigawatts, and the ability to relatively easily just, like, expand this out by a huge amount more. So I think we're going to wind up the stream for today. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Had a lot of fun. We have fixed our power production, and we should be good for the foreseeable future once more. And hopefully we won't have to expand even more dramatically, but you never know. It might happen. So that will be that. Thanks for hanging out. We will be streaming Satisfactory again tomorrow. So we stream every weekday from 2 to 5 Eastern Time, so make sure to follow if you haven't already so that you know when I'm live and what I'm playing, and we will be back to Factorio on Tuesday. We do Tuesdays and Thursdays Factorio, so if you're interested in that, make sure to stop by then. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for hanging out.